Welcome back to the Aberdeen Audiology YouTube channel. Once again, I'm Dr. Tom Goyne, the Chief Audiology Officer at Aberdeen Audiology. Um, you know, the whole purpose of making these videos that we've been doing is to help educate folks, whether it's folks in the Philadelphia suburbs that can come to see us, or if it's people in other areas. Hopefully this information will be useful when you go to see an audiologist near you. But Aberdeen Audiology, we have offices in Wayne, Pennsylvania, Malvern, Pennsylvania, Westchester, Pennsylvania, the western suburbs of Philadelphia. And so if you're in the area and anything we talk about in these videos, it seems like something we could help you with, we'd love to hear from you. So what I wanted to talk about today are some signs that you should have your balance tested. Balance is not something, or balance troubles, I should say, is not really something you just need to put up with. You need to deal with. You need to work around. It's not something that should severely impact your quality of life. It's not something that should prevent you from doing things. There are solutions and there are ways to get yourself steady, to get yourself safe, to get yourself enjoying life more. And a balance test can be the start, and then the treatment that leads from that will be what gets you to where you need to go. But here's some signs that a balance test would be helpful in the first place. So the first one is if from time to time you get a sensation that either you or the space you're in is moving. Could be spinning horizontally, maybe sort of spinning vertically, maybe just sort of a general floating. But that's a sign you should have a balance evaluation performed. Now, I want to be clear. If this is something that comes on really strongly and all of a sudden, the first step should not be with an audiologist. The first step should be with a physician to make sure that there isn't anything seriously medically wrong. But assuming that you have found that there isn't anything medically wrong, and this is something that you're just sort of putting up with from time to time, maybe certain head movements make it happen. Maybe it happens when you roll over in bed. It only lasts a short time. It comes and goes. And again, you've been given an otherwise clean bill of health. Your heart's fine, your brain's fine. Then it's time for a balance test. Uh, Typically, if you're getting the sensation that things are moving, there is either an issue with your ears or your eyes or the way that your ears and your eyes work together. And so the balance test will help us sort that out. And then once we know that, we can put you on the road to recovery. So that's the first reason. Second reason, poor hearing in one ear or the other. Let me back up a little bit. First of all, if you have a sudden loss of hearing in one ear, then that is another instance where you should not come to see the audiologist first, see a physician first, and soon and quickly, because the sooner you see somebody, the sooner or the more likely it is, the more likely it is that treatment will help. But assuming that this has been going on for a long time, sort of a chronic thing, that it's not a serious medical issue. You've already had that vetted by a physician. Then it also makes sense at that point to have a balance test. And the reason for that is you may be at risk for falling and you're not even aware of it. So if one ear is hearing better than the other, there's a really good chance that one ear is also contributing less to your balance system than the other ear. And so when that happens, that's a recipe for accidental falls, trips, things that you really want to avoid. And so if we do a balance test, we can determine, hey, is there really an ear that is contributing less than another? And if so, again, get you on the road to doing something about it, improving your quality of life, making things safer for yourself. A third one would be, pretty simple. Have you recently had an accidental fall, or do you have a fear of falling, or both? Sometimes you have a fear of falling because you had an accidental fall. If you've had an accidental fall or you have a fear of an accidental fall, that is a great reason to go get a balance test. As I've sort of alluded to earlier in this video, but also in other videos that we've done, our balance system is made up of our ears, our eyes, our limbs, and the sense of our limbs in space, and then the brain integrating all of that information. And so, what we need to find out is, of all those things, what's causing you to be unsteady and therefore have a fear or be at risk of falling? It could be your eyes, it could be your ears, it could be your brain, it could be your limbs, it could be all of those things. It could be a combination. And the balance test will help us figure out which of those systems is the problem and get you on the road again to properly doing something about it and getting your life back. If you find that you're sort of shying away from activities because you don't feel good about your balance, this reason is somewhat related to the previous reason, fear of falling. But if you find that, because you have a sensation that things are moving a bit, or if you're just a little unsteady, and it kind of gets to be one of those things, all things being equal, you kind of stay home. All things being equal, you avoid the party or the sporting event or the get together. That's a sign this is really impacting your quality of life, and we need to do something about it. The good news is a balance evaluation will help us figure out what the issue is and get you with the right professional to fix the problem. And then if you've had a concussion, that is another reason to get a balance evaluation done. So when you have a concussion, there's been, a jarring of the skull, either from an impact or just, sort of a recoil action. And so that has the potential to do two things. One, you could have an actual concussion, which is an injury to the brain. And so that can sometimes cause dizziness. But sometimes the event can not only cause an injury to the brain, it can also cause an injury to the ear, which can conceivably cause a balance issue. So if you have had a concussion and you're feeling unsteady, it could be a brain matter. It could be an ear matter. It could be both. It could be the combination of the two. And, if it's a brain issue or if it's an ear issue, then the treatment is slightly different. And you don't want to embark upon the wrong treatment if you don't have to, right? It would be better to use the right treatment. So that would be another reason to have a balance evaluation done. Basically, the whole reason for a balance evaluation is to find out, of all the hundreds of reasons why you might be unsteady or dizzy or having some imbalance, of the hundreds of reasons why it could be, we narrow it down, we figure out which one it is, and then we either treat you ourselves, sometimes we're able to do that, or we can get you with the right specialist that can treat you. Maybe it's a neurologist, maybe it's a physical therapist, maybe it's your primary care doc, maybe it's a cardiologist. It kind of depends upon what the testing tells us. But rather than going and visiting all these professionals and trying to sort it out, come see an audiologist first, get some balance testing done, and then that will save time and money and get you on the road to recovery and doing the things you want to do the way you want to do them much sooner. So hopefully you found this helpful. Again, if you're in the Philadelphia suburbs, we'd love to help you. Offices in Wayne, Malvern, Westchester. And if you're not in the Philadelphia area, well, hopefully this information is useful and you can find an audiologist near you who can help you. Thank you very much. See you next time.